Zen hustler, hustling, blowing biz and life.
All right. So, welcome to the Hustle Business Women series. So, this is, I guess, if you're hearing on the podcast series, an interview series where I'm, I guess, showcasing and spotlighting awesome women who I feel the new way of doing business, the new earth way of doing conscious business. That's just beautiful, but still successful at the same time. So, Emma, what I'm going to do today is I've got to set a lot of questions because I want to ask everybody the same questions, because I know we can easily go off some questions. So if you see me look down.
I've lost you. You're dropping out again. Is that me or you?
Is that better? Moving,
can you hear
no?
me? Have you got me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can get okay, you turn to music every now and then, which is amazing, but I'm missing what you're saying. But am I freezing? Because you're a bit freezy, but I don't know if it's my end or your end.
It has moments of it, but it's not overall.
Okay, great. So I think what you said was you wanted to get to know me and find out some trivia about me. And the first thing that came to mind was I'm scared of frogs. Trivia. Petrified. I have a frog phobia, for real.
Well, that's good to know.
I know. So
can you hear me now?
Oh no. The question was?
The question was, what's your sun, moon, and rising sign?
I don't know.
Okay. What's your star?
I don't know.
What's your star?
What's my star sign?
Yeah.
Cancer. I'm a Cancer. All right.
And
I'm going to learn something. Don't know. I'm the worst.
Good. So
what's my favorite color?
Favorite color, yeah.
Favorite color is pink.
Yeah, girl.
Oh, look,
I love it. Okay.
Look, my family's in the background.
Oh, so cute.
Hi.
Okay. What's your favorite crystal?
Amethyst. Is that a crystal? Is that a precious?
Beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the worst person.
That's all right. Good. This is just a little get to know you. It's all good. There's no right or wrong. All right. So do you use oils?
No. Do you want to know? Do you want to know a fun fact about me? I don't I've only started exploring this whole concept in the last 3 months. I'm like the late adopter. I was all like science, concrete, factual, give me proof, where's it written, who's researched it, nope, wasn't a doctor, I'm not interested, so I'm like, oh, hold on. I start what's this? What's going on? What is this whole new world? I don't know, but it's intriguing. So yeah, this is my learning journey. Decided I'm a convert. Done a 180 on my whole belief system. Flipped my world upside down.
I love that. That's so exciting. So it's really lovely coming into this world, which is beautiful because, I can relate to that because many years ago, if you're there, say hello because I can't see it on. So many years ago, I was very much like you, black and white, 1 + 1 = 2, logical strategy, all that kind of stuff. And that's
Yeah.
what hustle's all about. Put both worlds together. So I love it.
Yeah.
So that practical head space, heart space. What's your sole purpose and mission that you're now fulfilling through your business?
Creating content that teaches, in a nutshell. Using language for good, like sharing and spreading positive and inclusive messages, rather than fear marketing tactics. I'm like anti do this or this bad thing will happen, and very pro if like set your sights on where you want to go and then go on a learning mission and find all of the steps that you needed, all of the pieces that you need to get to that point that you've chosen. So rather than focusing all of the stuff that's going on around here that people are like, oh, hey, by the way, if you don't know this, you're going to fail in business. Oh, by the way, if you don't know this, then your business is doomed. And I'm just like, no, put your learning blinkers on to some extent, set your sights on where you're going, and then learn forward. But while you're doing that, share messages in that same way. So then we stop scaring women, stop creating fear, angst, comparison unnecessarily, and start like uniting with our language and our messages and sharing and learning. So everything you learn, I think that you have a social responsibility to pay it forward in some way. So we all learn differently. So we can only learn something that falls in line with our current values, beliefs, and experiences. And they can change over time, as you case study here. Your values and your beliefs can change over time. For example, like something might be really important to you, and then you have kids, and then suddenly a whole new set of values are important to you because your life has changed so much. So your values can be fluid, but they're also very grounding. But your beliefs, they're up there, and limiting yourself to one belief means that your possibilities for learning and your possibilities for life fall within this very narrow band. Where if you're just like, I can believe anything's possible, and then you go out and you learn and you find all of the resources and the tools that have been created in a positive way. Oh, I'm cutting out. You can hear me? Yeah, cool. And then you learn, you digest the information through your own experiences. Awesome. So you learn, you digest that information through your own experiences, and everything you learn has been filtered through your values, beliefs, and experiences, which means you've got a unique perception of that information. So you might learn something that I just wasn't even, like I couldn't see it. It wasn't, my subconscious wouldn't allow that data, that information, that fact into my brain. But because you have said it and you've learned it and you've filtered it and changed it and manipulated it through your own experiences, and we have a connection, now I'm able to understand what that piece of information is that might be valuable. So learn something, digest it, and then share it in a positive way. So basically creating content that teaches, using my learning and teaching superpowers for good. So teaching people how to create content that teaches and inspires people to take action rather than just feel things. That's a big part of it. And so that we're inspiring, not influencing, and so that we are motivating, not manipulating with our information, with our content, with everything that we put out there into the world. So creating content that teaches people about who we are, what we do, what we're fascinated with, what makes us us, so that they can bring their personality to the forefront of their brands, basically. But creating a hub for women that means that they can share in this way. They can share little pieces of their area of expertise and the stuff that they're really passionate about, and pass on the practical skills to other women in business. Fascinates me that we think like, oh, this person's got so many followers. They're huge. They've made it. They're Oprah. But like Oprah's just normal to another person. So like breaking down those barriers that are like, that person's so much better than me, above me, I'm never going to be that person, stopping the comparison, breaking down the barriers and be like, no, actually they just started a little earlier than you. They're just a little further into their journey. But if that's what you want, you can have that too.
Yeah, I love that. So what I'm hearing from you is you're basically you're you've added the missing sacredness, like the spiritual component to sharing your message, I guess. Like,
Yep.
everything that's up here, aligning that with the heart space, finding the way to share it, but the missing pieces being, yes, as Crystal said, motivating, to quote you, Emma,
Yep.
motivating, not manipulating. Boom,
Mm-hmm.
Crystal. And thank you for your
Yep.
compliment, Crystal. Mwah. She said we both look cute today. Thank you.
Thanks, Crystal.
So yeah, I love that. It's the missing piece of the and I hate to use this word because it's a buzzword, but the authenticity, the real heart
Yep.
of it, the real heart of
Yep.
going back to that serving message. I love that,
Mm-hmm.
Emma. So what does Zen hustle mean to you?
This is a good one. I wake up some days and I think, some days it's just like sunshine and rainbows, and other days it's lip gloss and hustle. Like I think that's my.
It's like my language, girl.
You have one or the other, don't you? And it's the juggle and the balance of like, you can't rely on the lip gloss and hustle days every day. That's unsustainable and it's a burnout. So one of my core values is sustainability, and I'm talking environment, like world, the like the planet that we live in, but also internal sustainability. It's not sustainable to day after day hustle. And if you find that life is a bit hustly every day, it's probably time to step back and think like, why am I feeling a bit of resistance? Why does it feel like so much effort? So I'm really big on effortless, limitless, fearless. And I would ask the question, if someone's hustling every day, like, why? The Zen element, like it should just be, if you're conducting in alignment with your own values towards something that you believe in, then there should be 50% Zen, 50% hustle on an ideal, perfect life day. Obviously, there's a lot of external factors that happen that throw off that balance, which is why it's like it's a working relationship within, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And I love that. So it's really about honoring where you're at on each day. Like just honoring that doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing. Like my analogy that I always use is it's like going to the gym. For example, when you got your periods, you might not be feeling the best. You might still go, but maybe you might just go for a walk instead. Maybe you might just do some yoga. You're still exercising, but you're not doing your hardcore normal workout. So totally. And Crystal says sustainability, not survival. Yes, Emily.
Exactly.
And holding space with love is what Em does. She does so beautifully, serving by freely sharing all her knowledge. You so do that, Emma. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your comments, Crystal. So how do you know when you're in that sweet Zen hustle spot?
Well, because I don't think about them at the time. It's only hindsight that gives me I'm like, oh, actually that was easy in hindsight. That wasn't hard. I did a lot, but you're not really aware of it in the time. You just think you're just living at the time. That's what I find personally. I'm not aware of it until after.
So you're in the flow space, basically. It's like that flow. Then you go, okay, this is pretty good. I'm just gliding along, or power
just
glide.
gliding along.
I don't know if you heard of that song, Power Glide, but it just makes me think of that. You're just power gliding along, and you've gone, look how much I've got done.
Look how far I've come. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. So what is it that you actually struggle with? Because, we talked about at the start how you were saying some days aren't all lip gloss and hustle. There's the ebb and the flows.
Yeah.
What do you struggle with, and how do you overcome it, in your everyday business life, as working mum, mum life, business mum life?
Yeah. Well, it's like what you're saying before. Sometimes you don't feel like getting up and going to the gym. Some days you feel like doing a bit of yoga. And I was thinking, well, some days I just feel like sitting on the couch in my pajamas and eating Mars bars. Like, That's
Yeah.
probably, that's what I do. I should probably swap the Mars bars for yoga, but I don't know, Mars bars make me happy. So
Why not? Enjoy it.
I find that togetherness is the secret part that gets me through. Like having an accountability buddy, having a real life in the flesh person who just gets you, and or even like you just support network of women online. That like it doesn't even need to be real life, but real people who really get you and get what you're about to get you through. I think just coming together. So every Monday, I meet one of my in real life best friends, Bronwyn Ward, and we just do we do coffee or tea. We do tea because we're tea people, and we work together. And it's like as productive as you would be in an office space. Keep each other accountable, like bounce ideas off each other, but like learning and society works better when you can really, like, people are hard to hate up close, right? So let's bring people together. Let's get up close. Let's do a bit more of that in life. So yeah, that's how I cope. That's how I get it all on track when it's falling apart. Just get together with someone, tell someone.
So what's the struggle for you though? Where do you
Where's
find...
my struggle?
Yeah, what's the actual struggle? So
I'm
what
going
I'm
to
hearing
say
you say is
accountability.
working on your own can sometimes feel demotivating. And so
Yep.
meeting up with people, your best friend in real life, and even
Yep.
having just the online support makes a massive difference for you.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
My biggest struggle is like on those days where I'm like, I'm not doing it today. I'm not doing it. I don't have to. And then I don't. Whereas if I'm someone else is accountable, if someone else is holding me accountable, if there's someone that I'm actually letting down other than myself, then it happens faster and better.
So your struggle is working alone, and
Working
how you
alone.
overcome it is getting accountability.
Yeah, and I think it's just the when you're not having the sunshine and rainbows day and it's feeling a little bit like a grind, but you've got to show up online. Like you've got to keep coming up, or you're working through like an identity crisis as like your whole world shifts, and like you've got all of these new thoughts in your mind and you're trying to process it but still present. Like I find that bit is a struggle.
Yeah.
And what to do? Like, do you sit back and work through it and hope that it happens faster while you give yourself space, or do you show up and then like publicly work through it rather than be like, oh, surprise, I'm a different person. Like I've changed a little bit, guys. Sorry, I was gone. I've changed. And trying to figure out what way works best with me for that. So that, yeah.
Totally.
What to do when you feel like you just want to curl up into a hole? And then you think, is it something that you like should just work through and show up because it's like just a little thing that's going on? Or is it like a real stop, take time out, like this is a serious one? And just, knowing which way to go, and knowing what's like sabotage versus like self-care, I guess.
Yes, that's a good one. The difference between sabotage and self-care. And I feel, and even as you was talking, it was going back to really just being in touch with who you are and listening to that inner voice. And that all comes with the day-to-day stuff, doesn't it? It all comes with the listening in, honoring your body, honoring your cycles. And so the two. So I love that. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's a really important point. And Crystal says online in the real life. Yes.
Online in the real life. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So how do you, and I know this is kind of new ground for you, so I'd love to hear it from your perspective, but how do you bring soul and source into your strategic decision-making process? So how do you combine, my love of three, soul, source, and strategy?
Yep.
How do you bring the three together? Because we're very similar in that sense.
Yes. Okay. So from a learning point of view, I knew that your beliefs, values, and experiences completely dictated your reality. So my reality is different to your reality. So the information and opportunities that I see. We could be standing next to each other. We could be like twins. We could be conjoined twins, and our reality is still different. So
Yeah.
everything we see, everything we know, everything we experience and feel, and all of those things is based on, and where we are today, based on our experiences, beliefs, and values. So knowing that and the science and the concrete behind that, and then I'm like, okay, well, what's the next step of that? Like, how do you implement that? How do you take that a step further? And for me, it just comes down to, so if you've got your beliefs, values, and experiences in the center, the next ring of that is your actions, your outcomes, and your desires, like what you're actually trying to achieve. So aligning those on the next level, which is, I think, where it comes in. So working in alignment with your values always affects your outcomes, which is your experiences, and then also affects like what you believe is possible, is like where you set your goals. Like if you believe you're only worth this much of your beliefs, if that's your belief, then that's all you'll achieve. So blowing out that and really turning up the volume on what you believe is true, so that then when these opportunities, hey cat girl, when these opportunities present themselves, you know that it's yours to take.
Yeah.
Because it's in line with your values. It's taking you in the direction you want to go.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you also say again is, and I love this, love it, that it's really the daily stuff. It's really understanding who you are, you know, understanding your values, understanding what your deep beliefs are, understanding what your map of the world is.
Yep.
And taking action on that rather than the outside stuff. You know, it all comes from within. I love that.
It does.
I love that.
And once you know that, you know which way to turn.
Yeah. Epic Sky, where you're at, M. Crystal says, aligning for you to see in order to believe, and moving to believing because you know. Yeah. And Crystal says, totally. Now there's 3 of mine. Yay. Okay. Where are we up to? So, and I know this is the early stages for you. And Monique with the delicious earrings. Oh, thank you. Yes, I've got my pink ones on today. Can you see my pink ones, Kat? Anyways, what's been your biggest awakening? Like, I know you're moving out of the whole mind stuff, or the mind fucking, as I like to call it, to more the heart space and the spiritual internal kind of stuff. So what's the biggest awakening you've had?
I want to tell you about the talking man in my dishwasher. And then the talking man in my dishwasher.
Okay, tell.
So
this should be interesting.
Well, one day, my dishwasher just started telling me stories about a man who drowned. His name was Alfie. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I need proof, though, because I'm a science girl. Science. All about the science. Unless you can prove it, it's not a thing. And then I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, well, Alfie, is that, like, who are you? And then I got another clue. Like, I just knew more stuff. And then I'm like, well, that's good. That's 2 very compelling pieces of information, but I need proof. And then I'm like, well, how old were you? And then I remember having this dream, and I was in the dream with my children, reading them like a story or playing with them. And I'm like, singing them. I'm like, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was teaching them how to count. And then in my dream, it was like, so that's how old I am. What did you miss? And I'm like, 24, like 2 and 4. I didn't say 2 and 4. Where did 2 and 4 go? That's not how you count. And then I'm like, oh, you're 24. Your name's Alfie and you're 24. And then I'm like, Kaylee, I've got this information. You need to prove it to me, right? And then and I found the proof. I found the death records. I knew that he had drowned. I knew that he drowned in the Yarra. I knew his name was Alfie. I knew he was 24. Like,
wow.
Got it.
I love this.
Found the documentation, and there was like typos in the document, and like just significant words. I was talking to Kat Curl saying that I'm all about limitless, effortless, fearless. Like the less words are my words. And then it was after I was saying this, after I'm like, I own less. I own ness and less. They're my words. And I got this documentation and it was talking about houseless. And I'm like, well, houseless is so weird. That's such a weird word because obviously it's homeless. Like, what's a houseless? And this word was just like, that is a clue. That is a clue. And then, like there's, yeah, just lots of things, but I couldn't even argue with it because I was telling my husband about the things that I was knowing before I was getting the fact.
Wow.
And I'm like,
wow.
well, maybe this is real. Like, maybe I can, like, maybe there's more to the world than I knew about. And then, yeah, got my proof. And then I'm like, okay, so it's just time to surrender to that now. Stop
wow.
proving. You don't need the proof. You've got enough proof to know that you can just go with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it was even...
I love it. I always
like
say
it went
it
next
doesn't
level.
surprise me. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Okay, so went on a retreat with Jana's retreat and I got like this random message from this person. I'm like, what does this mean? Like this blast from the past. And we walk up the mountain and it's like this huge stone, like the mountain cap is like stone, and lots of lovers that had engraved their names and like lots of random people had carved their names into the stone, right? Into the huge rock that was this mountaintop. And John's like, okay, just like step forward, go to this place. And then I looked down and between my feet was this person, this blast from the past person's name. And I'm like, it's carved into the rock. Like, what is going on here? And then I look over and on the other side of my foot, so basically the man from the dishwasher is someone I know in my real life as well. Now, this lifetime. And I look over and that person's name was on the other side of my foot. So these two names were separated by my foot.
Wow.
Like that's how concrete I need. Like I've asked for concrete and proof and I'm like, it's not always possible. Like I'm not always going to find.
You got it. Concrete proof. Literally. And we're walking back down the mountain, like mind blowing. Like everyone's seen this. This wasn't just me, like proof. Your whole peer circle saw it, like, because it's unfolding in real life in front of you. And I'm like, well, well, I don't even know what to do with that. Like, what do I even focus on? And I stepped down and stepped on that same name again. Like, it was engraved in another spot on the rock. I'm like, wow. Oh, okay, well, you ask and it comes, right? That's how it works. Wow. I always say, I'm never surprised, but I'm still amazed. Like it still amazes me. It really does. Like I'm still in awe. Every time I hear something, it's instead of like, oh yeah, it's like, and not that I need proof, but it's still that whole, I knew it. Yes, I love it. And Kat Curl said, you don't need the proof. Crystal said, returning home. Detective Emma, I love that, Kat. And Kat said, you knew it. The messages are always there. And Crystal has adored seeing you awake. I don't know if I read that, but I love reading it again. She's adored seeing you awaken, Emily. I love that. Okay, where were we? All right. So we were talking before about how those times where you're trying to establish whether it's was it sabotage or self-care, and I want to know, how do you still operate your business when you're going through a dark night of the soul? You know, when you want to withdraw, when there's deep healing that needs to take place. How does your business keep flowing while all that's happening in the back end?
Well, the back end stuff is still my business. I've decided to give myself permission to do that. Like my business growth is my personal growth. So if I need to take a holiday from my business to do some growing, if it doesn't look like proof, if it doesn't look like paper, if it doesn't look like 2 Facebook lives, if it doesn't look like whatever I had set out, whatever I had in my mind at that time, just giving myself a holiday to work through the next thing, because the next thing's a level up, right? It's a different direction. It's not more of what I'm already doing. If I'm doing the work, it's not more of this. So business growth is personal growth, which is taking time out. And I mean, if I lose my algorithm because I know Facebook doesn't get me, then bye, Kat. It doesn't matter. It like, does it? No. Keep on keeping on.
No, totally. I love that. So what I'm hearing you say is It really is the whole Zen hustle thing of, your business being an extension of you. And so you're just honoring that. You're honoring the fact that you need to step away for a minute and it's all
Yep.
good. It's going to be there
Yep.
when you get back
It's gonna be fine.
because you're aligned with your values. You're taking aligned action. You're following your soul purpose and soul mission. So you're doing everything. And it
Exactly.
really goes back to trust. I love that.
Trust.
Love
Exactly.
that. So tell us about how you start your day and what a typical work day would look like for you.
Okay, typical work day for me. I have 2 of those a week. I have 2 typical work days a week, which are Mondays and Wednesdays, and I do the kid drop off at school, and then I take Aubrey, who's she's going to be 2 in January. She goes to occasional care for 3 hours, 2 days a week, and I hustle home. I do the hustle in those times. And then it's a lot of late nights and it's a lot of negotiation on the weekend to get an hour or 2 here or 3 hours there or whatever it is. It's about going on girls' weekends, holidays, where you escape your family and get some downtime from mum life with someone who's also happy to take their laptop, because you can make use of every moment. Yeah, it's basically
so
8 hours a week.
Days. Yeah.
I've got set work days, and then my evenings, and then Thursday and Friday Jack and Aubrey are both with me. So Jack's in kinder 3 days a week, so they're both home with me all day. If I get nothing done those days, then whatever. If I have to wait till 9 o'clock at night, then whatever, because I do this. I don't have the 9 to 5, so I can be here with them. So they can't take me away from work because it works the other way. I work for them.
Totally. So you do 2 set days, and I love that. So Zen hustle. I always say you need a structure in order to flow. So you've got your 2 work days, and then the other days are just flow. Whatever you get done, you get done. If you don't, you don't. It's all good. So how do you actually start your day every day on work days and non-work days?
With
3 kids? Is it 3 kids?
Probably a little bit.
2 kids? 2.
So
definitely 2 kids.
2.
Yeah.
So it definitely starts with a huge mug of tea.
Okay. I love it.
The hugest mug of tea. Because I'm allergic to coffee. English breakfast in the morning. Yeah, allergic to coffee. So coffee's never an option for me. It's just more tea. So start the day with an English breakfast. I know. And then I have my 10 o'clock peppermint. And then I have my French Earl Grey at lunchtime. I have my afternoon peppermint. And then I have my sleepy time in the evenings. Like that's the only thing that's regular every day. My tea consumption is regular. Like you get the odd surprise extra one.
Yep.
But that's
I love
it.
Structure like that. I love that whole. This is what I'm doing. I love it. I love the flow in the middle, but I love those little anchor points. Awesome.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So
you start with your tea.
A big bowl of tea and oats. So porridge or muesli. That's my breakfast. Breakfast of champions. And then it's just like go, like trying to wrangle. It's like, get the monkeys to line up long enough to do something. Like go. 9 o'clock, set myself the time of 9 o'clock every single day. Like if we've not achieved one thing, which is having breakfast, getting dressed and making sure the house is like free of crumbs off the bench, like get it together. If you, then like that, it has to happen. And then nothing else. After that, anything else that comes.
So where does your spiritual or self-care component come into it on a day-to-day basis?
It doesn't. Just doing what I want to do. Being constantly aware of my values and my...
So how do you do that?
My actions.
How do you constantly stay in touch with, aligning everything in order? How do you stay in that zone? For example, you want to lose weight, you got to work out. You want to, whatever you want to do, it takes some kind of focus and attention. How do you stay in that zone so that you don't top it up every day?
I was trying to brush over that question without giving you the real answer that was in my mind. So, okay. So
there you go. It's
so
time.
1 year ago, exactly. So Aubrey's will be 2 in January. I was so sick with her. So I was in hospital 8 times during pregnancy with her. So everything other than caring for myself and like in a way that I didn't move from the couch and caring for Jack because he was 2.5, 2 at this time, went out the window. Like everything else just didn't happen. I didn't go out anywhere unless I really wanted to. I didn't go to the shops. I started getting like online food deliveries. I just went easiest route wherever I could just for survival. And then Aubrey was born preemie. So she was born 3 months early. And then once again, 9 weeks in the hospital with her, Jack at home, like everything was just do the essentials. And then after she was born, came home, I had like a bit of PTSD, postnatal stuff going on. I went into a hole, like I didn't function, hardly got out of bed, hardly achieved anything, like didn't fill the spaces that I had created by just surviving with anything productive. And basically every day just woke up a little bit worse than I was the day before. And I didn't realize because it was happening so gradually. And then one day I'm like, wow, I'm really unhappy. Like I'm so unhappy right now. I really need to work on this skill of being happy. Like happiness isn't something that we've just got. It's a skill. You need to practice it. It's like playing cricket. You can't just pick up a cricket bat and expect to be the world's best cricketer. Like you have to actually work at these things. Courage, like happiness, all of these things that we aspire to, perfection, whatever that is, we don't actually ever nail it, but it's always something that we're working towards.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what's going to make me I'm going to work for today. My goal is to be 1 minute happy for 1 minute. So what can I do to make me happy for 1 minute? And then learned a lot, like had a psychologist, obviously, like, and then worked through it. So I could be happy most of the time, most of the days. Baseline happiness like massively increased, and part of that process was having something that was mine to create. Like I could do craft, or I could craft a business, right? I could have my escape in my business. So yeah, that my business is my self-care. It's my ability to turn my brain on to think about things outside of like snack time and childcare time, because I'm one of those really awful mums that probably isn't a natural. I'm probably not a natural parent. Like I thought that was my life mission to have kids, but I don't do clag and I don't do glitter. Like messy play happens in someone else's home because I don't like mess. So I'm not the best parent in the world. I'm not going to claim to be, but the kids are happy. The kids are happy.
Yeah, they're alive, they're breathing, they're fed.
So
it's okay, it's all good.
yeah, my business is I know they're happy. They really are happy, but it's like what I'm doing now is not what I envisioned for my life when I was pre-kids. So that was a really long story. So dropping everything and having nothing and starting from like with no expectations, like I'd let everything go. So then I was consciously rebuilding my life with the broken pieces and getting new pieces and doing it. So I had curated my perfect life at that time because I had already let everything go. I was already at the bottom. So I had the fortunate and unfortunate opportunity to completely rebuild and make conscious decisions about what I wanted my life to look like. And I know that's not possible for everyone, so it's probably not a really helpful answer, but that's how I got to be this.
I love that. So it's curated conscious choices. Like you really, and you're right. Not many people get that opportunity to go just start from scratch. Like, let's just wipe everything out. And okay, I want a bit of that. I want a bit of that. Instead, we're so busy, peeling away the layers, getting back to the core, whereas you just went, scrubbed it all out. This is what I want. This is what I want. And it's all come together. So do you still have your 1 minute a day of just being in that zone, or it's just so innate now? And I love the fact that you love your business and it's your outlet, because that's how I feel about my business. Like, it doesn't feel like business. It feels like this is what I'm meant to be doing. I've always been creative. I've always been intuitive. I've always been an ideas person. And so I have a release now. Like I have an outlet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
Love that.
So I think that it's completely innate with me. If I don't want to do something, I just don't do it because I know what it's like. I've experienced people are like got FOMO, right? If I don't do that, I'm going to miss out. Well, I missed out on like the entire year of my life, if you want to look at it that way, and nothing bad happens. Like I'm happier now than I've ever been. So I'm happy to miss out on day to day because I don't want to do it. So I just don't do stuff I don't want to do, which means I don't need to have as much self-care because I'm never at the point of needing to recharge those batteries because it's just done minute to minute.
I love that. I'm seeing Crystal's comment and I can't read the whole thing, and I'm just trying to see if I can actually read it because it's not showing me. Sorry, Crystal, I can't read the whole thing, but Crystal says, yep, survival. I stopped opening mail. I just filled 2 small boxes of unopened mail from the last 18 months, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yep.
Anyways.
All right. It was like that too.
Yes. And
another thing that I'm really, just quickly oh, hey, Kelly.
Gorgeous.
Another thing that really stands out for me that is a little bit more practical. Love you. That people can start to implement, and it's from a learning perspective that you can do this straight away. Like, this is a practical thing you can do. Be aware of the information action ratio. So at the moment, the world is full of information. Like, everywhere you turn, you can get information. People are selling you information everywhere. But how much of it is actually actionable? So back in the olden days, when there was no internet, there was no Google, there was no news, there was like, I don't know, you could send telegrams and Morse code. Like, if your haystack was on fire, you would respond to that fire. But you'd kind of hear in a little while about your neighbour's haystack being on fire. But now it's like statistics. Did you know that 17,000 haystacks have burnt this year? And I'm like, oh, I've taken all that on. Now I'm really fearful of my haystack catching on fire. And I've got this information and it's pent up, but there's nothing actionable out of that. I can't do anything with that information. So I don't listen to the news, basically, long and short of it. I don't take on information that isn't actionable. So I'm like, is that actionable? No, don't need it. Is that actionable? Nope, don't need it. And it was like an example of that. If it's important to me, I will hear about it from a real person. So the strawberries that had the needles in them, like, that's obviously an important thing to know is from a child safety perspective. When that happened, when the needles were found in the strawberries, I didn't hear about it from the news. I didn't hear about it from Facebook. I didn't hear about it from any source of technology. One of the mums in school said, how's the strawberry thing? And I'm like, oh, what strawberry thing? And then they told me about it. Like, that's actionable. Like, I wasn't consumed with the worry until the point where, like, something bad happened. That was just like, okay, well, now, at this point, it's actionable. I need to work on it now. And it was told from a human mouth, or I saw it with my own eyes.
I love that. I love that you've just so clear in embodying that intention, that it's just rolling out for you. It just happens so naturally because of the intention you've set. Like, it's really, really like become just the essence of your energy on a day-to-day basis. And so you're just a vibrational match for all of that. I love hearing it in actual practical ways. So that was a beautiful sharing. So thank you for that. I really enjoyed that. Because like I said, it still amazes me, even though I'm not surprised. So I just love hearing all the practical stuff. Beautiful. So we're nearly done here, but I want to know, just actually, do you have any spiritual practices that you do on a day-to-day basis? Because I know you were saying it's all very innate now and it kind of just flows. So there's no actual practices you do. Fascinating.
No, I think about my vision. I think my vision board is as close to like a spiritual practice as I would do. Like, is that still in line with what I paint my vision of the future? Nope, that picture doesn't work for my life anymore. I'm going to pull that one off and fill it again with some new stuff. Like, that's as far as it goes. Very visual, very practical.
God. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Like, that's it.
I love it. I love it. I love you, Emily. Okay. 2 more questions and we're done. What systems and processes do you use, if any? It could be like the tangible, product-based systems, or processes do you use to bring more zen to your hustle?
Audible. I use learning. I use learning, reading books as a form of meditation. I guess so. That's a self-care thing as well. So I'm learning. But I don't learn from I need to action every single page of this book point of view. So whether you like read the book or listen to the book or podcast or whatever it is, I put it on like 2.5 speed, and trust that anything significant to me will pop out.
it.
And it's often just a sentence. Something will trigger a thought or spark a piece of inspiration in my brain, and the idea will just drop in. Like the next step it'll happen. And it won't be based on a chapter of this book. It will be based on the inspiration that came from the book, but my own idea. So then it's like I'm never copying anyone. I'm never trying to be anyone else. I'm just trusting that my beliefs, values, and experiences will always dictate what I see and do anyway. So don't try and fight the system. Like, don't try and fight that brain stuff. Just lean into it. Trust it. Like, the ideas that you see will always be yours. Yeah, Chris was saying she does that with music and song lyrics as well. Exactly. It's the same sort of same thing. I'm not seeing
a message. Yeah, awesome. So I love that, and I'm really glad that you made a point of saying that, because that's something I have found over the years. Years ago, I would have to read a book from cover to cover for me to I got it and I can do it. Whereas now, I've got so many books that I've read, just a chapter in. Yeah, that's all I needed. Pack it away.
Yep.
Like I've got a pile that I just go back to wherever I pick up where I left off, and it's just what I need to hear at the time. So I love that.
Exactly.
Plus the audiobooks as well. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Lastly, one of the most important questions. What does the word hustle mean to you? Because it gets a freaking bad rap and I'm just so over it. What does it mean to you?
Yep. Hustle. It's just do the work, isn't it? Like, and it comes down to that intuition side of things. Like, you can did I tell you the fox story? Have you heard the fox story with my son?
Not sure.
So at about the same time my dishwasher started talking to me, Jack told me, he's 4, that he really wanted to see a fox. And I'm like, dude, we don't live on a farm. I can't find you a fox. Like, I can't find you a fox. Anyway, played along with him, because that's like childhood magic was something that I'm like, yeah, I can create this. I can help you every day find a little bit of like joy from the idea that we potentially may find a fox. I can do that. That's been a good mum, isn't it? Yep. Okay, so you got ready for bed early. We've got 15 minutes. It's dark. Let's go for a walk down the street and see if we can find a fox. Thinking full well, we're not going to find a fox, but you don't know that. So we can enjoy the time together. And Jack would leave an apple out. He's like, I'm going to leave an apple. We're going to find a fox. So every day for 2 weeks, Jack was doing something because he was consumed with the idea of finding a fox. And I was enabling it, thinking he's going to get sick of it. We're not going to find a fox, whatever. And then, like 2 weeks after this started, I pull up the blinds so my house is like got a steep block, got a room underneath, and then the kitchen sort of like upstairs. So to get to the balcony off the kitchen, you need to go up a full flight of stairs. Open up the blind to that sliding door, and there's a fox sitting on the doorstep.
Oh my God.
There's a fox sitting there. So hustle.
No way.
Yeah. So Jack did the hustle, didn't he? He did the work.
Yeah.
He put in his order and he hustled every single day. Didn't let go of the idea of finding a fox, but did something every day. Put in his blood, sweat and tears, and the fox came. Because he did the work and he asked for it and believed it was possible.
I love that. I love that. And I love that you also appreciate the word hustle, because like I said, it's getting a bad rap. It's not about grinding and pushing. And well, sometimes it is when, like you're out of alignment or, you're self-sabotaging or whatever it may be. Like you do have to push yourself, but it's not about at any cost.
No.
It is far from that at any cost.
Yeah.
Do what you love doing, but fucking do it well. Go all the way with it.
Yeah.
Like, don't just come
and if you asked,
half-assed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack put his whole self into finding that fox every single day, and it would say that he worked hard, but it wasn't hard work. That's hustle, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's taking the action
what I think it is.
to get the results you want. It's, to me, the essence of it is creating something out of nothing, So I love that. I love it.
Yep.
Emily, it's been so awesome having you today. Before we go, I just want you to please share your beautiful offering or offerings and
Sure.
where we can find you.
Offerings.
Yes.
Yeah, at the Short Course Collective is where I'm spending most of my time at the moment, actually, which is a really exciting project that I've got with 3 other amazing businesswomen. So we're creating fear-free learning spaces, short courses, like we want really short 40-minute workshops with an actionable outcome at the end of it. So you can step by step choose your own adventure, you already know what your business problems are. You already know what you need to find. So I'm creating a platform with consistent short courses, fear-free, no sleazy sales happening, monthly membership, but also lots of other little side short courses celebrating the diversity, because we all learn differently. Like, we all need different information to get the point. So we've got a stylist, a graphic designer, and a digital SEO expert, and myself, giving you weekly workshops, practical skills to build your business, we're for visual brands, people that have personality and imagery as part of their business, basically. So Short Course Collective.
Cool. That is so cool. I'll have all the details in when I go back through and I put it all together and put it onto YouTube and so forth. So yes, I do reach out to Emma. She is just amazing, not only from a business perspective,
thank you,
but from just a spiritual, like, soulful being. And I love connecting with you, Emma. Online,
I love you.
private messages,
yes,
all over.
I know.
So thank
It's
you
the best.
so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having
so
me.
much. I appreciate it. All right, everybody. Peace out.
Bye.
Zen hustler, hustle and flow in biz and life, day and night. I always do this right. I'm staying on the grind, crazy ambitious fight, being tough yet filled with love. Got my goal in sight, hustling while still being the flow. What's up?